G'day ladies and gents, welcome to War Thunder with Mags. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of battles. One is going to be, well, one of my last battles in the premium Focke-Wulf 190 as a grinding plane. And the other is going to look at my MG Bearcat. Now, these are battles where things just don't go quite as you plan them. Now we've taken off from the spawn area. It's me and Caden Oz here. He's flying his Hayabusa because he just loves the little plane. And it's surprisingly dangerous in high levels, simply because fighters at this level cannot turn like a Hayabusa can. They will stick to you. Your only option is to regularly run away. I, however, am looking to complete or start my grinding on the KI-200. Now, I did have a chunk of research actually done on the KI-200, but I lost it in a recent, well, not so recent now, it was a couple of months back. There was a bit of a issue with the game remembering RP points, and a lot of people lost research that they already had placed on planes. In my case, I lost nearly the entirety of the KI-200, so I've got to start again. Now, I spotted in first Spitfire, going for a dive, and I do something monumentally stupid here, assuming that this Spitfire pilot was not going to be as good as he was. And that is, I engaged in a turn fight with a Spitfire at a Focke-Wulf 190. Yes, this was me asking for an ass kicking. Now, I initially did it because he wasn't using the full manoeuvring capabilities through here. I was actually able to bring the nose back around to give shots, but never quite had enough lead to get hits on him on the target. And he just tightens up the turn. He's already nearly 180 degrees around the loop, and I realise I've just been baited into an energy trap. I've just screwed up. Dive to the ground, fold the flaps, and get the hell out of here before I get my ass kicked. Diving through the flak, heading back for my ship for some support. Thankfully, my team was paying attention to what was going on, and right when I bugged out, a couple of A6M5s showed up in the area. Because by diving out like that, I also left Caden in his Hayabusa stuck at altitude with a Tempest, a Spitfire, and there is actually a P51 up there as well. Now, thankfully the A6M5s caught the attention of the Spitfire, so I was able to vacate the area, and then this pops up. Now, B-17s. Whenever you're flying a premium Focke-Wulf 190 or an N1K in a match, as the Japanese obviously, and you see a B-17, it's your responsibility to deal with it, because zeros and the things like the Hayabusa zeros are not really suited to taking them down. It's a big risk. Premium 190s and M1Ks have a much easier time of it, due just to sheer firepower. So he's the only B-17 on their team from the looks. All the fighters are engaged with fighters. I'll remove this B-17 because he's right over a bunch of our cargo ships and our mission critical vehicles, and he's already taken a big hit to our ground forces. We've lost a lot of tickets, we're losing badly, and it's because of this guy's pass, so he needs to be removed. Second mistake, I am approaching with a slight transversal. I'm not approaching directly behind, I am angling to try and throw off the shots. I again assumed the B-17 won't manually gun, or wouldn't be very good at it if he did, and my engine's just gone pink. So approaching a B-17 behind was my mistake 2 of this match. So I haven't got long. I've got to unload every gun until they overheat or they run out of ammunition with the back of this thing, and then I've got to get the hell out of here before my engine dies. So I've just pumped him full of holes. Every gun that still has ammo is jammed or they're empty. Roll off, throttle back, and now I have to limp almost half the length of the map to get to a runway when I have fighters in between me and the runway. So right now I'm really crossing my fingers and hoping I'm going to be able to make it home. Now I was hoping the B-17 would go straight down. Unfortunately it didn't, but it also didn't manage to attack any more ground units. It swung around to try and get a second pass in and ends up slamming into the ground as I'm repairing on the runway. So I do make it home. But because of the damage to the engine, you see I'm throttled back to 84% and I'm staying as low to the water as I feel is safe. And this is because with the new spotting mechanics, the lower altitude you are, the harder you are to detect. This allowed me to slip past the enemy fighters and bring it into the runway. I was actually fairly impressed that the engine didn't fail along the way. I felt sure the whole way back that it would. It does, however, feel like it's losing power even on full throttle. I was having trouble maintaining speed, so it was a good thing to put it down when it did. Gentle touchdown despite damage. Full rudder to gently turn the plane. Or gentle rudder, then full rudder to actually cause it to spin. Doing a brake stop. Touchdown, back in the battle 20 seconds later. Now we've skipped forward ahead a little bit. The B-17 has crashed, as I said before. The Spitfires and the A6M5s killed one another, and all that's left for players in this match is myself, Caden Oz in his Hayabusa, who is dueling with that Typhoon, and a KI-61, which is currently RTB, getting fuel and ammo due to battle damage and basically having unloaded. He finished off the last of the Spitfires. So I've got to move in and get back to assist my mate, because he's been dueling with that Typhoon since I dove away from the Spitfire at the start of the match. So a good 10 minutes. He's running low on ammo, he has taken damage, and he really needs to get the hell out of there. Now I've boarded him wide, 10k's out, and I'm trying to use the cloud cover to cloak my approach. Caden's dragged the Typhoon into the cloud cover, so that's why he's flickering in and out at the moment. It's when Caden's close enough to detect him through the clouds. Approaching this way means he won't see me coming in. He knows I'm still alive, but he doesn't know where I am. So he's popped back up at 10k's, but I still have cloud cover in between, so he likely still doesn't know that I'm coming. If he is watching carefully through the clouds, however, at the moment, he is potential that he will spot my dot, or he will definitely spot the AA fire that's coming in and lighting up my approach path. Now at this point he turned away and started running directly towards me. Caden Oz gave me warning. I have been spotted and detected. The Typhoon knows I am the greater threat of the two. I have to be taken out. And once again I'm going to do something monumentally stupid. I'm going to nose-to-nose this Typhoon. So whip off. Now I have had a lot of practice doing this, but it is still risky. He climbs to altitude, take the lead, quick shot, and immediately barrel roll out as the shots come in. Shots go flying past, clean and clear. Now we have a problem. Unfortunately our tickets are running incredibly low, so as much as we have run out of player aircraft to eliminate, there are still 4 AI floating around the area, and we have absolutely no idea where they are. And they are kicking the crap out of our ground forces, so we need to find them. So 6 or 7 minutes of battle time have passed and we've managed to finally locate the AI. The dots were hard to detect due to cloud cover in the area. AA eventually gave it away, and it was Caden Oz that spotted us and guided me and the KI-61 into the area while he was repairing. Now as you can see, the tickets are counted down even more. We are on a clock. Now this is only versus AI, but I've decided to leave this in because I think this shows some pretty good approach angles for dealing with enemy bombers. So first Wellington comes up. Now I'm approaching from underneath. Wellington is fairly undefended from below. So run a snipe across the valley. Do not turn in straight away. Let it flow past a bit. Whip off. Climb to high angle above, almost into a stall. Roll over into inverted, continue dive. Re-roll to drop on tail. Now I'm doing one loop past here. I don't want to stay for too long. Tail gunner is starting to fire. Left engine is a really good target. Eliminated. Back to throttle, second target in. Now I have no idea why the AI is flying a Buford in this match, but fair enough. Buford has a rather large cockpit, so I want to lead high and in front of the aircraft. Pilot's dead. Third target, Wellington again. Same approach idea as in the first place. Closing in. 1.5, stay low, trying to stay below the aircraft to avoid the defensive gunners' arcs of fire. One pass, one burst, burst 2, burst 3, kill the tail gunner, pull in too close, back away. Now I got the tail gunner in there, I also struck the right engine. Loop back around again, staying low. The only gunner that should be remaining on the Wellington at the moment is the dorsal gunner. Another strike from underneath. As I arc over, I can see, yep, right engine is already dead, so my original plan was to strike the right hand engine. No need to. Tail gunner's dead. Hit the left. Fireballed. And that was the end of the match. Let's check the results. So, first place, 5 kills, 2 player, 3 AI, final blow, survivor and fighter awards, 145,275 silver lions, 10,836 mod research, and only 6,500 air research on 60%. And this is because I'm flying an Era 3 aircraft and I'm now researching an Era 5 rocket plane. This is one of the last battles for the 190 as a grinding plane for me, because 60% reward is just not enough. I'll have to step it up to my A6M5 from now on. It's just not going to research quick enough. Anyway, moving on to the next match. Now this is my F8F-1. This is my MG Bearcat. This battle I wanted to show because sometimes doing the wrong thing is still the wrong thing, but it doesn't mean you have to give up straight away. So we've got 2 F8Fs engaging a 190 at the moment. There is actually 3 other aircraft in that area, so we are outnumbered. They're just not visible. This aircraft is on a particularly low skilled crew. I'm moving in to try and assist. The 190 is diving away. He has taken out one of the Bearcats. The other 2 are actually at higher altitude above. I don't spot them until I'm vacating the area. So I'm moving in on the 190 and it goes to nose, and I decide to do it with an MG Bearcat. Now, I just put shots straight into its engine, crippling it, and took out its tail control at the same time. So I have managed to kill that 190. It, however, in turn, took out my right wing control surfaces, and has done critical damage to my engine. Now, the Bearcats cannot take that sort of damage. My engine has maybe 3 minutes of life left in it. I have altitude and speed, but I have to get back to base. So doing the wrong thing has potentially cost me being able to continue to fight this match. At the very least, it has definitely neutralised me. Now, on the off chance that I'm not going to make it back, I decided I'll try and clear our B-17's tail at this 109. Unfortunately, without having full engine control, I wasn't able to control my speed as well as I would have liked. I've had to rely completely on dive speed, which meant I was going to snap my plane in half if I continued through. So I had to let it go. And with the speed and altitude I've gained, but the altitude I've just sacrificed, with an engine that, as you can see, it's already gone from pink to red, I don't have a lot of choice. I have to just continue running to base and hope the rest of my team can clear his tail. Now this is the risk of going nose to nose with any fighter in the game. Sometimes you can pull it off, but most of the time you're rolling the dice as to whether or not you will. And even if you manage to survive the head-on, it's quite often you'll take such a level of damage that you're impotent for the rest of the fight. As you can see, my engine's just gone black. It's only a matter of time before it stalls out, but I am maintaining just under 600 kilometers an hour. I've got a couple of thousand feet altitude under me. I should be able to glide this back if I need to from this point. So I was pretty confident until then. Enemy TA-152 sitting between the airfield and our surviving fighter swarm, waiting for returning fighters to eliminate them. So I have no choice. Nose to nose again. Now once again I get lucky. I managed to do critical damage to the engine and damage to the control surfaces of the TA-152, and down she goes. but the hits I took put the final nail in the engine of the Bearcat, so I am definitely out of this match. I'm not going to make it back to the runway. But again, this doesn't mean you have to quit. Now, a lot of pilots at this point in time would basically bail out of the aircraft, call it a day, get the next one, but why incur the maximum repair costs by doing that when the plane is still gliding? So I'm just picking my angle, and I've decided this field here is where I'm going to land this Bearcat. I'm not going to suffer a full repair cost, even though it was stupid and I probably deserved it. Now, I picked this one because there's 2 gaps through trees, and I really had a limited amount of options. So touchdown, bounce it over the hill, drive it between the first thicket of trees, full brake. I'm applying slight rudder to cause the Bearcat to slide in order to kill its speed faster on the ground, through the second thicket, and I immediately turn the plane, nearly lose it nose down there, but try and aim for the 3rd gap just in case I have to go through it. Thankfully I didn't. Go to full rudder, get the plane to spin on its top, and stop. There we go. The D-13 does get awarded the kill from earlier on for that, but I have managed to save myself a repair bill. So the results of that match was 4th place with only 2 kills. I got the fighter award, 35,020 silver lions, 3,992 mod research points, and 1,996 air research points, but I'm still not sure why that's popping up, as I'm not researching any aircraft at the moment, so that should be blank. Now, because I landed that Bearcat rather than just bailing out, my repair bill for that match was only 2,000 credits. So I saved myself a big chunk of change and made that 35 grand that I made, despite messing up rather seriously. Nose-to-nosing in an MG Bearcat, or nose-to-nosing in a Bearcat in general, is a bad idea. It has the manoeuvrability, and I should have used it. But I managed to make a profit simply because I wasn't willing to just let the plane crash into the ground. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Click like if you do. Subscribe if you want to see more. Fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.